To anyone who's been following my channel for a while, you would know that I'm a very big advocate for NoFap. Okay, I live by NoFap, I preach NoFap, I'm on NoFap to this day. And I've been on NoFap on and off for over a year now. But for as long as I've been advocating for the NoFap lifestyle, I feel like I've done you guys a bit of a disservice. And what I mean by that is I've let people believe that fapping is the real issue. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, fapping is doing you any favors. That's why I don't think that it's very important for me to make that distinction. But with that being said, fapping is not what's really causing the issues for you, for the most part. Okay, for some of you, fapping can be very detrimental in combination with this thing that we're talking about in this video. But largely, porn is the primary issue that a lot of people are dealing with. And when you eliminate porn from your life, that's when you'll begin to see and experience most of the benefits that I talk about on NoFap. Okay, NoFap is really no porn and no fap. Okay, so when you combine those two together, that's when you start to see great results. And if you take it a step further and do semen retention, that's when you start to experience life-changing results. In my opinion, if you're not going to do anything else, eliminate porn from your life. Okay, everyone should eliminate porn. No excuses, no exceptions. Okay, you guys have to understand that porn is messing your mind up. It is messing you up mentally and you don't even realize it because it's so normalized now, but it's also very new. Okay, porn has only been around for what, 20 years? For as long as the internet's been around, for as long as phones have been around. So with that being said, we don't really know the long-term effects of porn. We only know the short-term effects of porn because we see it all around us. Now, one of the main issues with porn, in my opinion, is that you're kind of devaluing yourself. You're belittling yourself and subjecting yourself to what I would consider to be mental torture. Okay, I consider that to be mental torture because you're basically giving yourself the perception and the illusion that you're having sex, that you're experiencing that high, that rush of dopamine, when in reality, you're just looking at pixels on a screen and you're convincing your mind that you're having sex. And that's why, over time, it begins to lose its lust to you because you know deep down that you're not having sex, but your body will respond in the same way. And one of the things that makes porn so dangerous is how accessible it is. Okay, you're watching this video right now on a computer, a phone, a tablet, something like that, something with internet access. That means that you have access to porn. Okay, if you're watching this video, porn is accessible to anybody of any age, of any demographic, as long as they have an internet connection. And that's the scary part about it, because teenagers especially, whose minds are still developing. Your mind doesn't stop developing until you're 25. Your mind is still developing and you're subjecting yourself to this artificial stimulation at a very high clip. Okay, you have to understand that it is not natural for you to be watching porn and, doing the deed multiple times a day to it. That's not natural for your body. And that's why a lot of people feel so drained after doing it. Okay, because like I said, deep down that it's not real. And that's why you feel so bad afterwards. You know that it's not real. You know that you have no business doing that. And not only that, but it gives you unrealistic expectations for actually having sex. And this is where a lot of guys experience erectile dysfunction. It's no secret at this point that, regular porn doesn't cut it for a lot of people anymore because their dopamine receptors have become so desensitized to it that now they have to start reaching for more extreme versions. And that's where the unrealistic standards for sex come, because sex for the most part is normal. It's just good old plain sex and there's nothing wrong with it. But in your mind, because you've conditioned yourself to, only look for these extreme versions of sex or things that really aren't even sex, things that don't involve making love anymore. It's just about receiving the dopamine rush. Now you're an addict. At that point, you are officially an addict and you need some type of rehab or help. And that brings me to BlockerX, which is the sponsor of today's video. Now you clicked on this video because you need help. Okay, you have an addiction to porn or you're afraid that you will develop an addiction to porn, and BlockerX is here to help you. Now, for as much as I advocate for, being your own accountability partner and having the willpower to overcome your porn addiction. What I've realized is that willpower is not always enough. Even in my case, I'm a very disciplined person, but the moment that I stopped making NoFap update videos, I relapsed. Okay, I fell back into that cycle after 9 months of doing NoFap and retention because I didn't have that external accountability. Now, what does BlockerX do? BlockerX helps you eliminate your addiction to porn in multiple different ways. The first way that it does this is by providing multiple layers of security against it. Okay, so when you download BlockerX, you install it on your phone, your computer. You can install it on up to 3 different devices. The moment that you search up the word porn on any of those devices, BlockerX is going to hit you with a pop-up. That pop-up is the first layer of security. Okay, it will not let you search up porn. Now, beyond that, if you decide to uninstall it, it hits you with another layer of security. It's going to ask you multiple times whether or not you really want to uninstall the app. And then, if you still decide that you want to do it, it's going to make you physically type in. In addition to that, it also provides you with an accountability partner. Like I said, external accountability is very important, especially in those times of distress. When you really feel like you need that fix, it helps to have that accountability partner. So at the very least, do yourself a favor and get the free trial and see if it works for you. And if it works for you, then you can move on to the paid version. Think of it as an investment in yourself. Now, beyond getting BlockerX, another thing that you can do and another thing that you should do is get on your purpose. Get on your purpose. Okay, you have to learn to replace pleasure, the desire for pleasure and instant gratification, with the desire for fulfillment and long-term gratification. And you do that by finding your purpose and getting on your purpose. If you're not on your purpose on your NoFap or retention journey, you are going to relapse 100%. Because you're just sitting around all day. What do you think is going to happen? Okay, the urges aren't going anywhere. The difference is you transmute those urges into your purpose, into something that means more to you. That's why you guys see me posting every single day. And also working on books and writing poetry and working on my body and my mind and my soul. I'm doing this every single day because I have the urge to succeed. I want fulfillment. I don't want pleasure anymore. And it translates to other aspects of my life as well. But, the main one being lust, especially within the context of this video. Lust is a very powerful, potent feeling. And when you learn to transmute it into something that means more to you in the long term than a quick hit of dopamine, that's where you'll start to accomplish great things in life. Now, the next thing that you can do to overcome your porn addiction is to develop self-awareness. I talk about this in almost all of my videos, but self-awareness is crucial. You have to know your triggers. You have to know at what times you are the most vulnerable to relapsing. Okay, for example, if you know that most of the time you're doing it late at night, you need to start sleeping earlier. Okay, or you need to start preoccupying your time with something more meaningful. One of the biggest triggers for most people is going to be social media. For a lot of people, social media is subconsciously priming you to be in that lustful state of mind. Now, obviously, you can't go through your whole life running away from provocative images or, attractive women. But what you can do is stop exposing yourself to that at such a high level. Most men, and especially teenagers, are encountering provocative imagery pretty much every day. And that's not normal. That's not natural. It's not natural to subject yourself to that degree of artificial stimulation on a daily basis. And you know deep down that that's not right for you because it takes away the joy for life because you're wearing your dopamine receptors out. And now things that should be pleasurable are no longer pleasurable for you. So you have to have the self-awareness to know your triggers, and you have to have the self-discipline to remove your triggers. And downloading BlockerX is a very big part of that.